Outstanding. We are back, PCA Live. This time covered 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So for everybody that is on the West Coast, another good morning to you all. So we're continuing on with going over all of the PCA show exclusive products that are going to be at the trade show this year. And so today we've got none other than Christian Eiroa and Tom Lazuka from CLE Asylum to join us to talk about their special product they have for the trade show, and who knows all the fun and interesting things we might find out about Christian and Tom. It's always a fun treat whenever they join us because we get into a lot of fun stuff. So I would just like to note that when you see what Christian's name is when he appears on screen, I hope everybody understands that I'm not bald. I'm just taller than my hair. So I think that's what Christian might be referring to. So without further ado, here's Christian, here's Tom, and then joining us again is Aaron from PCA. Gentlemen, how are both of you doing?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, doing fantastic.
Yeah. So what hairpiece am I wearing? Is this like a beard toupee, Christian, that you're referring to?
No, you actually change the style. When you actually take hair and cover it up. That's the new thing.
I'm gonna grow it so long to try to do a comb over from the beard. Is that what you're telling me I need to do?
Yeah, probably. Might work better for you.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we need to make a wager at some point in the very near future. And if I lose, I will commit to not cutting my hair for an entire year till the next trade show to see how well of a comb over I can get.
Do it, man.
Does that sound good?
Hey, by the way, today is my 26th anniversary in the business.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations. And you're choosing to spend it with us. I mean, I feel special, Christian. I really do.
It's actually embarrassing, man, because now you actually sit around and say, hey, I've known you for 20-something years. I've known people since the last century.
You are officially an old guy now.
I know, man. It sucks, bro. It sucks. Yeah, but it's always interesting seeing how the industry transitions. We've gone through, in my time, there were a couple that was industry was slow when I first started, and I came in during the boom, and I saw it come down and up and down and up. So it's always interesting to seeing how the industry continuously progresses. And how we adapt in the industry. Much smaller. Used to be a lot of family companies, and then all of a sudden everybody started getting bought out to the point that now you have a lot of corporate type organizations out there. Everybody's making great cigars. Just our approaches, the way we approach business is continuously getting different and different every time. For example, even talking about the PCA exclusives, which is what we're working on now, and we talk about this all the time with our guys in the office and our salespeople. It's not like anybody, it's not like Tom's fighting for a job or I'm fighting for the job. What we're trying to do is we don't answer the board of directors. Our board of directors really are kids, right? And who comes behind us. So we have to focus on building brands for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So we're always very careful in the stuff that we make. And that's why these PCAs are a lot of fun to make. I actually do enjoy making these.
So, so let me ask you this then. Did either of your children have any input on this PCA exclusive?
Not yet. They're all working here over the summer, but no, not yet. But they will. Hopefully in the future, they'll get a little more involved and start getting more involved on probably on the branding side, which is really what they like. And they don't smoke cigars, and they haven't. They're too young still. But on the tobacco side, it'll take a while for them to learn that part. Yeah. But definitely on the marketing side, I do want them to get more and more involved. And even Tom's kid Cameron was here over spring break doing some work, and I think he got into it as well. Very
nice. So correct me if I'm wrong. Is Ed one of your brokers out there on the West Coast? Is that true? Am I Ed Ryan?
We don't claim him, but I think he does work for us. Yes.
Okay.
Tom has to serve. Listen, Tom has to serve community hours for something he didn't work in years ago.
Yeah.
That's part of his commitment.
Well, I was just going to give Ed the same quiz that Tom nailed a little earlier. So, but that's all right. I won't put anybody on the spot here, at least this afternoon. But I might do it one-on-one when we're at the show, actually. So, let's talk about the exclusive then, because you dived into this a little bit. So it's a CLE exclusive. Is there an Asylum, or is CLE Asylum or CLE exclusive?
No, we're doing an Eiroa exclusive. And we're also doing an Asylum exclusive. And these are, whenever we're working on new blends and new products, we always come up with X amount of blends. Usually come up with 4 or 5 blends. And what ends up deciding what cigar goes into production is how much tobacco we have in-house to be able to manufacture these cigars. So we always end up with a few blends that don't really make it. So historically, even back with Camacho, I would have one blend that I really liked and I wanted to share it. now we have the 7, the 8, the 9, which is one blend that goes into it. But when I was working with my father grew Cameroon tobacco, and I was working with a lot of blends, and one of them that made it into the Eiroa, which will be a Cameroon. It'll be box pressed. And there's also this new Havana wrapper that we're playing around with. And I was making a blend for Tom. Tom actually, anyway, it'll be an Asylum. I don't tell him anything about it, so he always gets pissed off at me. I like surprising him.
Yeah, well, I was down there for like 2.5 months, right? He's like, all right, we got to go to Honduras. We got to go to Honduras to get this stuff done. And the plane was getting its yearly inspection or something, which took way too long. So I could not make the trip with him. So, I send him and Tyler and Raul with all these ideas, and then Christian messes them all up, and I get what he gives me. But it always turns out really good. So he makes his own adjustments.
So you're putting your full faith then in Christian being able to kind of come through for you there, huh?
Always have, man. We've been like I said, we're talking about decades, right? I've been with Christian going on close to 20 years now. We've been working together between Camacho and obviously this company now, and so if I didn't have that faith in him, I don't think it would work so good. But he always makes fantastic cigars, and I never really worry about the blends. I'm more pick at him about packaging than blends. So
yeah, it's always an issue. Always a thing.
I think it's great that you guys have such a great rapport. This is a lot of, I kind of want to push it a little farther and ask, can each of you kind of sell me on each one of the exclusives, and we see which one wins if there's a little competition?
Well, Mr. Salesman.
Well, listen, he's got the advantage, but I actually haven't smoked it, and I haven't wasn't part of blending it, so I'm trusting him with that. But he did, the packaging. I think you guys are gonna love. It's something very different than anything we've done in the past. We stepped up the packaging, and I don't think I can give away. I don't want to give away something unique about the packaging, because obviously we're not showing it or displaying it or anything till the trade show.
Nice.
So nobody's getting a first glimpse of it. Nobody, we talk a little bit about it, but this is a special thing for us. Like me and Christian were talking how the trade show has changed over the years, and it used to be everyone would rush for the new products and things like that. So this year, it's nice to do something for the trade show only. So, if you don't come to the show, you don't get it. The production is going to be it's going to be an ongoing production. So the retailers who come to the show and buy it can get it. This way we can supply it to them. But it will not be open to anybody after the show, or no new accounts after the show, and nobody who doesn't attend will be able to get the product.
Yeah, I will say that as we've been promoting this, and as this has all kind of been coming together, as this has been moving along, and really it's kind of been a moving target, because you all know better than anybody kind of the production issues and things like that with the back order and everybody else coming up and doing everything. And so the other part of it is that what could we expect from a trade show aspect of being able to kind of do all this? And so it's good that this is all coming together. And as we've been promoting this over the past, couple of weeks, we've really heard from a lot of retailers that have been registering for the show and have been reaching out to us, that this has been one of the biggest drivers for them to come to the show. And the biggest excitement factor for them is the fact that there are a lot of new products, but B, specifically, that we've got over a dozen show only products that you're only going to get if you're there. And that's breeding a lot of excitement, because I think for a lot of them, they want to replenish their shelves, and they want to replenish their shelves with things that customers are wanting and they're looking for. And I think that this is one of those things that's really kind of spurring them on, because I do think it's it's starting to create a lot of buzz about this aspect of it, which, to your point, I think goes towards that aspect of the trade show. It's evolving, and it's starting to become something a little bit larger than just, hey, I'm going to go see some people, I'm going to get some deals, and I'm going to go gamble, right? And that's kind of what we're trying to evolve past as far as what the trade show is all about. So Christian, let me ask you then this. Mr.
Hold on. I want to follow up with something you said right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's another saying that one of the oldest expressions in business is out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
It works both ways, not just for us, but it also works for the retailers as well. So now you have a bunch of smaller companies like ours, and where production is up, demand is up, production is also up, just not enough. And to add to that factor is, since the Imperial Altadis deal, that was purchased by a Chinese group or a Hong Kongese group. The production in Europe for Cuban cigars is now going to Asia. So now our demand is also now, not only is consumption increasing in Europe, but the demand for our products is increasing because the Cuban cigars are no longer there. So it puts us in a different position altogether, because now we have an extreme, the normal spike that you have in the US, and double it because we're trying to pick up the Cuban side. That's probably 70% of the 70% of the total market there. So when we go to the trade show and we see the customer, we shake the customer's hands. When he or she tells us, look, man, you got to supply me, we almost commit to these people that we meet with, and they really it increases their awareness with us. And these cigars are not, it's not a Solomonic trial, right? We can't really split the baby, so we have to choose. If we have one box of cigars, is it going to A or B? Maybe B is the guy that we saw at the trade show we just spent time with, and that's a huge factor for us. Very, very big for us. It's a personal business. We want to be able to deal with people that are actually supporting the industry, that support us, and now we keep building the relationship.
Yeah, so we got a consumer right there. Eric's will go to your local shop and let them know that they got to get to the PCA in order to get these products. And Christian, I think at that point, we keep hearing that too quite a bit. And for me, I keep hammering it home because it's something that I hear all the time from retailers and manufacturers that it's not the deals. The products themselves are great, and learning about the products themselves, but the relationships, it's not just about, hey, making friends. Dom obviously knows that he's a lot of fun to hang out with. And so, but it's not just about going and hanging out with Tom and having some fun stories and everything else, which I got to be honest with you, hanging out with Tom at TAA and listening to some of the funniest stories I've ever heard in my life about some things, it's a great time. But I think as a retailer, and I've been told this from large and small retailers, the opportunity to get to know you guys and to then start working that relationship at how it plays out for the business, especially the second half of the year when you can really plan, when are we doing events? When are cigars releasing? What can we do to capitalize on this date in my locality, or holiday sales and that kind of stuff, that they can see that the Q3 and Q4 actually goes up for them because of the ability to discuss business with you guys, not just about placing orders too. And so I got to assume that that's probably a pretty important component for you all when you're looking at it, at your sales reps and everything else. Where are you going to be the second half of the year? Where are you looking at in Q1, even for the next year? And how does that relate with some of these accounts that you're meeting at the trade show? Because if they're not there, how on earth are you supposed to plan that with them?
And yeah, 100%. The big difference for us also in our approach to the show this year, clearly we know that trade shows are getting more and more expensive, right? Especially in Vegas. So one way for us to show off, and back to your question, Aaron, is the best way that we can show off is with great cigars, and cigars that are different. And not just the cigar itself, but the package. There's something cool that we did with the package that's a little different. And we want to solve two problems for the retailers. Number one, what do you do with these boxes once they're sold? Once the cigars are sold, everybody gets stuck with these empty boxes. And the second one is, how do we leave something behind at the store where people know that you actually carried the exclusive product? So we're solving 2 or 3 main issues. But yeah, listen, the cigars are out of hand. They're actually going to be really, really good. They're both wrappers that have never been used before. One, like I said, nice. One was a Cameroon that my father grew, and the other one is a new Habano that we're playing around with. So no one else has used these blends, period. We're not using tobacco from anybody else in the binders or the fillers. So it's actually going to be really interesting for us to see what the reaction is and how people really come to accept the products. The bands are a little departure, not crazy, but they're a little departure from the regular bands. But that's why we're not really showing that many images of the product or anything. We want to keep it kind of. I know Tom has always complained to me, man, you got to show the salespeople. I go, listen, man, don't worry about it. We're all going to be there in person. We're going to sell the product in person.
And this one I understand. In the other ones, Christian and his launchings, we don't see eye to eye completely on a few of those things.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me like that.
I use that all the time.
Oh yeah,
it's Wedding Crashers. Rebecca De Morton says that to Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
We use it fairly often.
I was gonna say, is that the reason why, Tom, that you stay in Detroit and Christian's down in Miami, to keep that distance between you two?
No. It's just my children are still here, so eventually I'll probably move to Miami. Obviously, Christian's father is still runs the farm and things like that, but he's getting up there, and when he decides to hang it up, if he ever does, obviously Christian will have to spend more time on the farms and the factories, and that'll put me in a position where I'll need to kind of step up and take over some different duties in the office. So it's just as time goes, it'll all work out. But yes, I think that does help our relationship, that we don't stare at each other every day over a desk. We probably kill each other at that point.
Gotta have a little balance.
The hallmark of a healthy relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a bunch of malarkey, man. Listen, those stories you heard of brought upon a few bumps on the head. That's the reason why he lives up in Detroit in that crappy, shitty ass weather. Instead of being in Florida where it's nice and wet and muggy all the time. At least it's warm.
Hold on. I think that Detroit right now might be just a smidge nicer than what you're dealing with in Miami.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Just a smidge.
For 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You got to take. So basically, what you're telling me then on this one, this is a complete Aurora farm to smoke, right? You have the whole farm to table aspect. This is a whole Aurora farm to smoke. Yeah.
Yes. On the Eiroa, the Asylum is I'm using the wrappers from somebody else.
Okay.
But I really like what they produced.
So
I think it's gonna be a hit.
So are you able to even give us a little bit of a preview in terms of sort of, flavors that you're looking at here for the blends, medium, full bodied, anything like that you kind of want to preview before the show in here?
Yeah, listen, obviously when you're talking about Asylum has to be medium to full body. It has to be very strong, and the finish has to be very. It has to hit you. You have to.
And a ring gauge about this big.
No. We actually, I think 60 by 6. I think we did a 50 by 5, an 11/18, and a 60 by 6. We didn't go that crazy on the ring size this time. And then the Cameroon is going to be creamier. It's going to be medium to full body, but creamer. But you can, when you smoke the Asylum, you know that you smoked an Asylum. And one trick that we also know, especially at the trade show, guys are smoking 6-7 cigars a day or sampling 6-7 cigars a day. I have to make sure the blend we make that people are gonna smoke at that time stands out. And if that person, maybe that's the 6th cigar of the day, the 3rd one, or the 10th cigar, I have to make sure that person remembers that they smoked that cigar. Yeah. And that's what we're looking for, and that's really what the challenge is. Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, I remember the times of being introduced to smoking that many cigars in a particular week, and they start to all blend together. So let me ask you this then. You're this is something I never even thought of. What do you generally drink or eat to try to cleanse your palate in between cigars?
That's a good question. Show you right now. Hold on.
Thank you. Thought of it all by myself. I mean, normally I eat the what is it? The ginger in between I eat sushi. Oh, well, there you go.
Or water.
Or water. Are you bringing some samples of that to the trade show so that I can sit there and sip it in between cigars?
Listen, I would, but your people charged me last time for the water. I'm sure they'll charge me for the liquor.
My people? They're not my people.
Yeah. Man,
if I was charging you for water, buddy, believe me, it would be at least 3 or 4 times.
And I had these 2 pencil necks show up and say, hey, we saw 3 pallets of bottled water and you got to pay us $2 a bottle. I go, yeah, but I bought them. Yes, but you didn't buy them from us. So we still had to pay. No, we'll figure out some flask or something to sneak the stuff in.
Yeah, you got to get. So what you need to do is you need to get those the flask backpacks, right, and just carry them in and just pour it out as people need them in their cups.
I'll borrow one of Lazuka's. He actually has one of those camels when he exercises.
Yeah.
I was standing in line at a baseball game to go in years and years and years ago, and I never even considered this before until some genius in front of me. I have to assume it's a genius because I didn't think of it either way. But he was in front of me, and all of a sudden I see him take a sip out of his backpack. And I was like, oh, this guy's got his water backpack. But then I see it's brown liquid, and he pours a little bit into his buddy's cup, and he sits there and shoots it. And I was like, what is that? And he looks back at me, and he goes, that's whiskey. And I was like, that's ingenious. He snuck whiskey into a baseball game that way. I don't think you can get away with it now because now they check your bags and everything else. But, yeah, I think he had it on underneath his shirt. I would be remiss, though, if I did not, just because Christian did, in fact, call me out about my hairpiece, that Jay Davis here is at least – we are, in fact, proud men. So thank you, Jay. I appreciate the love there, my friend.
Jay. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, is your Christian, is your son coming to the show this year?
One of them.
So so we were on with Jeff Hogan a little bit earlier, and Casey, who played ball as well, is like, hey, maybe Casey and I will be able to allow to throw the ball around a little bit. If your son's there, you can join us.
Yeah, listen, Christian's still on the fence. I think Christian's actually working shipping here. And his immediate boss, Henry's like, listen, man, you're not going to go out and party and stick this all at work here. So I don't think Henry gave him license to go to the trade show. So he's stuck working in the booth. I think his 21-year-old older brother will be going.
All right. Well, maybe he can throw the ball around with us then.
Yeah.
How about Zook? Is and your family coming out too?
No, not my sons. My future stepson will be there.
Right.
So he's finishing up his senior year at Hillsdale College.
Yeah.
And so we did an internship for Zach. So he's on a 6-week internship right now with us at the office in marketing. And so he'll be coming out to the show working with Raul.
Awesome. That sounds awesome. All right, gentlemen. Thanks again. I could probably sit on here and talk with you guys and laugh for the rest of the afternoon. I don't know if that would interest a whole lot of people. I will say though, Tom, I still am looking forward to Le Fetiche from Asylum that we dreamed up back in 2018. So I'm very much looking forward to when that comes out. I would like at least a little bit of a heads up when that comes out.
Yeah. Well, maybe next year.
Maybe next year. All right.
Yeah.
Keeping the fingers crossed for that one. It's going to be a big seller, pun intended. So. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Again, thank you for all the support.
You guys, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for the support from CLE Asylum. You guys have stepped up this past year and helping support us, especially when it's come to some of the state advocacy issues. I want everybody to know that you guys have always been supportive in that regard and always been very helpful. Tom, instrumental in helping with Michigan when they were facing some challenges there as well. So again, thank you. We want everybody in the industry to kind of understand when the folks do step up and how important it is that we all do come together in that regard. We're looking forward to seeing you both next week. And hopefully you guys will look favorably upon me, maybe being able to sample one or two of these while I'm there. But if not, then I'll find my local retailer and, of course, buy some. So anyway, I do want to bring this up. This was something that was actually incredible. So I just did this a little earlier, guys. I was smoking this. This is a CLE. And Tom, within about 3 seconds, knew exactly what cigar it was. So for anybody that's out there, I'm not even going to show you, but I'm just like that. If anybody else knows what cigar this is, you can go ahead and email me, and you'll get mad props from me.
Don't email, just like post in the comments down below.
Post it on here, yeah. I would like to know if Ed can get that one. Actually, that's what I'm kind of really doing there to see.
I'm actually impressed you're using Aaron's manicurist.
You like that? Look at that, beautiful hands. Hey, I like George Costanza in my former life, a hand model.
Yeah.
Yes. We're rubbing mitts around when I'm not doing this. So anyway, thank you both, gentlemen. Guys, go by CLE booth. Make sure you get these exclusives because they sound like these are something really unique and they're going to be incredible. So gentlemen, thank you again. Look forward to it. And we will talk to you next week when we see you at the show.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Aaron.
Guys, take care.